What's up, water people? It's Retta back with another video. Today we're talking about kicking. Yes, the word kick does not have to be a four-letter word. It can actually be something that can be vital to your overall swimming progress. Kicking is something that you typically love or you hate, but it doesn't have to be that polarizing. Injecting kicking into your workouts on a regular basis will only help your overall swimming in any stroke. Let's just focus on flutter kicking, and to help you have a breakthrough, here are my 5 quickie kick tips. Number 1 is to keep it narrow. You don't want to have what I call to my age groupers, clunky monkey. You want to have nice, narrow kicking, starting from the hip all the way down to the toes. For flutter kicking, I usually give the cue of thinking you're kicking in a bucket. Literally having your legs be that kind of a narrow focus so that if you were engulfed in a bucket, you'd be able to continue kicking without banging up your knees and getting bruises everywhere. But kicking in a bucket, kicking narrowly, also means when you breathe. I know I have a tendency to have my kick spread a little bit wider when I breathe, but that's because I'm not focusing and relying on my core. You must tighten your core, suck in that belly button to the small of your back, and make sure that you're keeping your core nice and tight when you breathe so that your kick remains narrow through and through your stroke. Quickie kick tip number 2 is no flat feet. You don't want to have your feet flexed throughout the flutter kick. That's a big error I see with triathletes or someone who's coming in just brand new to the sport, is they have a tendency to want to keep their feet as flat as possible. And just think about if you were to have bricks strapped to the bottom of your feet and you were trying to kick. That's basically what it's like. Now, I'm not saying you have to be a ballerina and have your toes extremely pointed. You want to have it somewhere in between, almost a loose point, so that your ankles, when they move and they're flicking your feet are fluid and they're moving along with the water. They're not fighting the water by being these, obtuse objects that are just taking up space. One way to practice actually having a relaxed point is to wear fins. It's almost impossible to kick or swim with fins on with flexed feet. I mean, you really have to try to do it. So wearing fins can actually help you get that relaxed toe position that we're all striving for in your flutter kick. Number 3 is practice ankle flexibility. This is something that a lot of us don't even think about, but how flexible your ankles are can contribute enormously to the effectiveness of your kick among all disciplines. This doesn't have to be something that you do specifically on the deck before every practice. If you work in an office or you're a student, just while you're at your desk, start flexing and pointing your toes, flexing, pointing your toes, doing ankle rolls. There's myriad of exercises on YouTube and other places that you can go to check out what can make your ankle a little bit more flexible. And just incorporating 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there on a regular basis can immensely help your flexibility in the water and therefore your kick. My 4th quickie kick tip is to actually up your tempo. Sometimes it's easy to get a little bit lazy when you're kicking. You're kind of just floating along with a kickboard or on your back. But no, you need to make sure that you're focusing on a strong, fast, methodical kick. Typically, your kick tempo actually drives your arm tempo. So if you're swimming freestyle and you're just kind of kicking 1 beat, 2 beat, that's kind of how your arms are going to be flowing along. So in order to up the tempo of your entire stroke overall with flutter, you want to make sure that you're keeping a nice 6-beat kick behind you for most distances, and that way your arms are going to follow suit and keep that speed going. And finally, you need to actually practice kicking. Don't avoid it or think of it as something bad or something that you totally dread. That's just going to drag you down and make it seem like a chore instead of an opportunity to improve your stroke overall. And there are plenty of ways to make kicking fun. You can do all the different strokes: dolphin, breaststroke, flutter kick. You can do it on your back, on your stomach, with fins, without, with the kickboard, without. A lot of times I'm kicking on the wall for maybe 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off for 5 minutes, as hard as I can possibly go. That is a great butt burner. If you're lucky enough to practice with teammates or even just a training partner, have kickboard wars. Have one of you guys on either side of the board and just kick at each other, trying to make the other one go over a yard marker. Talk about fun and a way to actually increase the effectiveness of your kick if you do it a lot. You can also do fun individual sets, like every 3rd lap, kick very, very fast. Or do 75s where you're doing slow kick to kind of understand how that tempo is making your arms slower, then the second 25 a medium tempo, and a third 25 super duper fast tempo. And you'll notice how your arms really try to keep up, hence kicking drives your arm tempo. Here's a quick review of my 5 quickie kick tips. This is for flutter kick, remember. Number 1, keep it narrow. Kick from the hips, kick in a bucket. Number 2, no flexed rigid feet. Number 3, practice that ankle flexibility in and out of the water. Number 4, keep up the tempo. And number 5, actually practice kicking. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for another video. Leave any thoughts or practice ideas that you have in the comments below. Thanks.